Hello there and welcome to the channel, and yes, it is me, Simon, but you may not have recognised me because I'm featuring my autumn range of woolly hats. And why am I wearing my autumn range of woolly hats? Well, I'll tell you. Look at this. Look at the flip of this. It's only the first week of September. We've had 3 days of rain. We've got more rain to come. What happened? What happened to the weather? It's all just come to an end, and it genuinely feels autumnal. Anyway, this video is about what jobs that I need to do in this exotic garden for September. So what we're going to do, we're going to have a walk around and I'm going to show you what things I've got planned. And hopefully there'll be some salient points that'll be relevant to your garden. So without further ado, let's get on with it. I think the first thing I want to talk about is your lawns, because it's September. It's the last part of the year where you can actually put down your lawn weed feed and mosquito application. So it's a time-sensitive product. What is it? April to September. So if you don't put it down in the next few weeks, that kind of is it until the spring. So if your lawn looks anything like ours, and as you can see, our lawn is absolutely rammed with clover, and there's a reason for that, and one of them's just here. This is a new tortoise for Lorna. You've got Speedy and Gonzales, and this one is called Timmy, or as we've started calling it, Walk With Me Tim, for obvious reasons. If you're not sure, you could always ask in the comments. But yeah, that enclosure, that's the one it came with, so I'm going to have to build something so much bigger for this fella. But yeah, but because we get the tortoises out on the lawns and they eat the clover, I can't get rid of the clover. So at least at the moment I won't be putting down any lawn applications until Lorna gives me the green light to say it's safe. The tortoise won't be on it. Now the son may have packed its bags and gone away on holiday to the Maldives, but that doesn't mean that the old hanging baskets don't need maintaining. They still use a lot of water, won't need any today because of the rain, but they just dry out so quickly. So even though it feels cooler, you know, especially on days where you get more wind, don't forget that these hanging baskets still need quite a lot of watering. That one still needs doing every flipping day. This spider plant is every day, and sometimes twice a day if it's hot and dry winds. Epiphytic cactus, you're looking at maybe once, possibly twice a week. Don't forget to check every few days around the garden to make sure you haven't got any build-up of pests and diseases. If you've seen our recent videos, we've had a big problem with box tree caterpillar. We've picked through relentlessly, and finally we seem to have, at least at face value, got rid of all the caterpillars. But it doesn't mean you can't keep checking, because I tell you what, I reckon you'll probably get another brood coming shortly. And of course it goes without saying that now temperatures have dropped and the soil's become far more damp, that all your slugs and snails that have took the summer off to keep away from the dry and the heat, they'll be emerging soon, so they'll be back on your plants. So whatever slug management you had in place at the beginning of the season, you're probably going to have to dust that down and put it back out again. Flipping slugs and snails never ends, never flipping ends them. Deadheading needs to be checked every couple of days. Oh, actually I think that might be on the turn on there. But you know, if you want it to keep flowering well into the autumn, keep those deadheads removed. That will encourage young new buds to come through. Look, see, it's doing the job. Same as over here. Now the dahlias are still blooming, still putting out bud, but you can guarantee now that temperatures or day temperatures are starting to drop off, that it won't have the vigour to produce an awful lot more buds, and it takes a lot longer for these to get to flowering size. But you know what? Look, they're still. I mean, they did this like yesterday, but you just got to keep your eye on them, keep them deadheaded, because as soon as you leave these old heads on, then the plant diverts its energy into producing its seed, and no longer producing flowers. So keep these deadheaded, and really you can expect these to keep being in flower until the first frost, and that could be another 8 weeks. Now, if you've got triachiums, you can see there's a little bit of damage turning up on these leaves, and there is something that you need to keep your eye open for. Let's take a closer look so we can see a bit better. All right, you see on here, especially on that one, look, loads and loads of little small black balls. Now that is typical, along with this leaf damage, of caterpillar. Now I don't know if I can see it. It's obviously going to be quite a big caterpillar, because that is an awful lot of poop, unless of course there's hundreds of them. There's just got some fresh cut there. No, what about here? Oh, look at the size of that, Jesus Christ. So you need to keep an eye on these caterpillars, especially now it's autumn, because we will soon be looking at winter protection, and what you don't want to do is wrap it all up and then trap caterpillars inside, because what they'll do, they'll eat this section. Let me show you. Yeah, all this new tender fresh growth, they'll eat all of that, and they'll take out the whole tip. And what will happen come the spring is that you'll get it will multi-stem from here, so you will lose that single main stem with the huge flowering spike. You'll lose that. So you've got to keep an eye on these caterpillars. I mean, you can take them off, you could put them on another plant, or dispose of them as you wish, but you can't leave them on here. You can't let them take these crowns out, because you're going to ruin your plant. And if you miss it, and it does take out the stem, the central stem, and it does multi-stem in the spring, those connections where those new stems are, they're very, very weak in any kind of storm, and they'll snap. So you really lost the plant if you lose that crown. So those caterpillars are important to get rid of. In the UK, all you can really do is pick them off. I mean, they're easy to find. I know they're exactly the same colour as the leaf, but they're pretty big. They're easy to find. Pick them off, remove them. In other countries, you can spray with Zentari, which is a bacterial biological control. The bacteria is Bacillus thuringiensis. I'll do a little picture of what the box looks like. You can't buy it in this country. Well, you can buy it in this country, you can ship it in, but it's illegal to buy, it's illegal to use. But it doesn't mean people haven't been doing it, but obviously can't recommend that, because if you get caught, you're going to be in quite a lot of trouble. But if you live in another country that does have a license for that product and you can use it legally, well then by all means use it. But here in the UK, you're not allowed to use it. Look at that, it's a flipping leaf that's been dropped on my Vitis cognitii. I mean, that's going to be an absolute mess on that plot. It's supposed to be, it's called the Crimson Glory Vine, because all these leaves, they'll go fantastic dark burgundy red colour come the autumn. I mean, that's not helping by dropping them early. Stupid plant. Anyway, let's take a look at this. My lovely Datura, which is kind of coming to an end of flowering, but let's be honest with you, that's been flowering I think since July, but it's done a really, really good job. And that's in the ground now. Last year we had it in the pot, bought it in over winter dip, but this year I'm going to leave it in the ground. I'm going to put a thick dry mulch and probably wrap like the bottom couple of foot of the stem. Hopefully if we have a mild winter, this will actually come through, and we've had these come through from the base in previous winters. And the hosta, giant-leaved hosta, I mean, look at the size of that, it's absolutely enormous. It kind of starts giving up the ghost. There's a little bit of slug damage, but I'm not going to worry too much about it, because it'll be losing its leaves anyway soon. But it does tend to start scorching by now, but it's had a really good run for its money. And look at that, finally, flipping out of cages, suddenly decided it's going to start shooting out a load of leaf. I mean, it's took its time. Start having a little think about how you're going to prepare your tree ferns for the winter. I like to leave my leaves on, and if you cut these off, like I see so many of you do, you're not giving your tree fern the best start in the spring. So was it September? So I'll be honest with you, when it comes to September, you generally kind of stop putting down liquid feeds for your plants in the garden, because although it's still quite mild, you get nice sunny days. What is the point of trying to promote a flush of new growth when 4 weeks later it's going to get smashed back by the first frost? It's a waste of energy of your plant, and it can weaken it. And you can also open it, this weak soft growth, it can open it to more fungal infections and biting insects. So September, so now, put your Miracle Grow away, and but With the tree ferns, it's a little bit different. You've got to prepare that crown. You want to keep that crown in the best condition it can throughout the autumn, winter, early spring period. So this one I'm still going to feed. I'm going to keep feeding it. I'm going to drop the dosage and I won't be feeding it as much. But tree ferns are an exception to that rule. It's probably the only plant that I would consider continue to feed. Like I say, not at the same amount as I've done over the summer, but definitely more. And I might talk about that a bit later on once we start going into winter and winter preparation. If, like me, you've got agaves that are kept outside, now we're into autumn, if we are getting a lot of rain, then consider putting a rain shelter above these. It helps. It keeps the water out of the soil, and it keeps them in better condition over the winter. Now, be honest with you, these are tough as old boots, and they can tolerate just being left. But waterlogged conditions on an agave, it really isn't good for it. So just have a think about it. Check the weather, and if there's a lot of rain forecast, put on some rain shelters, and these over here too. So we have a lot of cacti and succulents that we like to harden off and bring out to the summer, because it, being outside in the in the breeze, in the air, direct sunlight on them, it gives them nice, tough, hard growth and really brings them on. But again, it's September. You might want to start thinking about bringing these in, because you don't want them soaking wet going into late autumn. So really, if this weather keeps up, all these might have to come indoors, which is a shame. But you know what, some of these have really put on some massive growth this year, and you just don't get it in the greenhouse. Flipping it, look at all that slug damage. Right now, this guy here, this is a agave ferox, and again, it's quite tough. You can leave it outside in the cold, but really the problem is wet. More so with these, the agave americana, they can tolerate it to a certain extent, but if this gets too wet over the autumn winter period, these basal leaves, they swell out and they'll split. You get massive splits in these. So again, another cacti that you got to think about bringing indoors. Like I say, it will tolerate the temperature, but it won't tolerate a waterlogged soil, or even just constantly wet soils. It just doesn't like it. Don't do it. I've been seeing a bit more of this. This is a Aereum. Is it Ultra Sanguinium? I think it is anyway. And we're starting to see some plants starting to go into its autumn procedures, starting to draw nutrition back from the leaves into the stems and into the root system to get itself ready for the winter. So things like this, you can either just allow it to do its thing, but for me, I find it looks untidy, so I am inclined to remove them, so we've still just got a load of green leaf, so at least it gives the impression that we are still in a growing season. And I think that's about it for my garden jobs for an exotic garden. But there's still quite a bit there to do, but you can certainly feel there's going to be a lot of work to do as soon as these things start to all this herbaceous stock is going to start dying back, and there's going to be a lot of cutting back, a lot of waste, a lot of tidying. You got that apple tree doesn't stop dropping apples, and the bins just get filled up so quickly. So I think it's like the calm before the storm, and I think storms are going to ruin everything, aren't they? But I think that's it. But do you know what, if I've missed anything, or if you've got any great jobs that you like to do in a timely fashion at this time of year, then you're more than welcome to put that in the comments, and we would love to hear from you. And it's valuable information which can be shared out to the other people who watch this video. So we like to see people do that for us. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to see you in the next video, but before I go, I've got one last message for you. See you later. Right now, just before you go, if you want to see more content, more behind the scenes stuff, and images that I've taken of some weird freaky plants over the years, then you're in luck, because we have created an Instagram page. So you can find the link in our description. You can find the link on our main page, and if I'm clever enough, I might be able to get a link somewhere up there. Anyway, thank you for watching, and if you want to see more YouTube stuff, then check out this video here. That's quite a good one. And if it doesn't float your boat, then another one right there. And enjoy these while I've still got the strength, imagination and aptitude to make them. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.